It is Ironheady in the old games corner. Welcome to the beginning of the end. The Classic Game Roulette presents Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. This is where it finally ends. Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the tests we had performed earlier. Tests. Yes, tests. On the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Oh yeah, that. I totally forgot about it. That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim. So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or due to time constraints, a full test was impossible? However, there's one thing that we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. That is all. Now let's restart this trial. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then whose was it? I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims. I understand, Your Honor. For what I'm heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking. So let's finish this quickly. Agreed. Very well. Please bring in the last witness. Witness, please tell us your name and profession. Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Co. law offices. Maya. According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Korean channeling technique. I'm frightened. The Fey clan, I don't want any more to do with it. Oh Maya, the pain the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable. Very well. Now then, Miss Fey, when the event occurred, you were in the garden of the inner temple, and you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Donham's murder. Is this correct? I didn't see anything. Straighten up this instant, young lady. Huh? Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come in, out, and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please. Yes, Your Honor. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly someone struck me over the head. I stumbled, and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. So you were struck on the head. I suppose it must have been this staff. Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. I just couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't. Can't say it was an especially good night. An especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright, please begin your cross-examination. Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all. Fourth statement. You think you screamed, but you're not sure? Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits. Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes. I thought this person might attack me, so anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. But I thought that it was my last hope. Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya was really out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do I do? Do I press her for more details? Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff? What? What do you mean your last hope? No, that's not what you said. You said my last hope. Huh? What? I said what? Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me!" Yeah. But you testified that you screamed because you thought it was your last hope. Oh, well, you know, that's like, what do you call it when that happens? Maya's not doing so well up there. Oh yeah, oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. What did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming for help. What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to let them slip out. Huh? Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker there was another person? Well, I'm meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done? It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. A ton of pressure? You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it into your testimony. Ooh. 1 second here, I'm gonna mess with something. Which, that obviously isn't the best time for that right now. I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. So there was a man standing behind your attacker. Yeah. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Donham, otherwise known as Misty Fate, your mother. The killer. Maya, you know who killed her mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she is in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission. Huh? What? It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. No! Order! Order! Order in the court! Mr. Godo, explain this! Add the pureness of milk to the perfect, clear darkness of coffee. Stir. It's gonna have to wait until after I'm done with this. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au lait. Cafe au lait? Is that even legal? Mr. Trite's words are the milk and you are the spoon, Your Honor. I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony bottle, have you know? You must have noticed it too, Trite. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Sorry, but that's not going to cut it. What did you say? If there truly was no light in the garden, then there is a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony. Nick, may I recall the witness's statement about her attacker? She said that she didn't know if it was a man or woman, an adult or child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man. That would mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person. Despite it being so dark, that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. No! Order, order, order! What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions? Right. You don't have any idea what you're proposing. How she could have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene. There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Goto. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him. Cover? For the man that killed her mother? There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is. Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you. You talk a good game, Trey. But let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black. So what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff. No, Nick, don't. Please stop. Maya is dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. Alright, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you got. Who is this man that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes? What? But how do you propose to show us something like that? It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of the night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. What? This is... but it can't be. Huh. That was a nice bit of deduction, Troy. Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. Order, order, order! Prosecutor Goto, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Huh. Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you're gonna question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights? Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya, I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man for a totally different reason. What? What? Witness, Mr. Wright, stop your chattering, Your Honor. Chattering? If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Alright. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but... When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit and the body was gone, and all of the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So it was after the crime that took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor. No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Godot said. You're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Number 3. The torches were lit? Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed. I'm going to say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be? The killer probably lit them, since it'd be impossible to do any cover work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? It's true. It's hard to see that would be any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya. Very well. Let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did look really odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural looking rectangular shape around the lantern. There was a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use. What an odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away? Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow? Yeah. The area I collapsed in ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. Yeah, I think I know what it means, but that little thing has to be taken care of. And I don't know why it keeps showing up. Come on. So been over that I feel the need to stretch so much. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount. That's true. He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood. It looks like there are no. It looked like there are some mysteries behind this issue, but I think this will help explain them. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with a crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something. You did? Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence from me, for my sake. What? Hiding it for you? Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you had done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened. Yes, I'm sure of it. Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. Oh. Again? I mean, I hope it is exactly what I'm thinking. We ballin'. The body of Elise Indonum was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood and was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh, and what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Goto. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? You're right. Order! But Mr. Wright, isn't it the fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow, and not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing. But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern? Prosecutor Goto, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the possible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way a normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There is no way any normal person would. What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether. And who would that be? Who is the person who could have failed to notice the bloody writing? Once again, Mr. Goto, this is what you said yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. You can't see everything. Is that correct, Mr. Goto? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. This lantern, there's something written on it. Why? It's written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Mr. Goto, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before, during the poisoning case at Tribulations. This is the apron that the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time, and somehow spilled coffee on it. There's something still bothering me, Mr. Goto. Why have you not explained a bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup, because it was red. It's strange. In a black and white photo, these letters would have appeared blank to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? So then, Mr. Goto, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern? Hey, Gramps, didn't you know that's the reason I don't drink red tea? I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Goto is the murderer, but there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Goto, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Donham, also known as Miss Misty Fey. It's hard to believe that this may be true, however. Once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like my name is... it's not like it's my name that's written there. I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. Do go on, Trite. The answer is right there in the crime scene. In the snow. The snow? How so? Well, for an example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area? Yes, why didn't he just take that area? Could it be? Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so, he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems that once again this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Gordo? Wait just a minute. Maya, what is it, witness? Mr. Gordo isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up. Objection! Maya, you can't testify to something like that. Why? What do you mean? I may not look it, but... Eek. After the murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't... I'm afraid I don't follow. Are you senile, old man? We just established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, that's right. Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. Maya, do you plan to cover for Godo no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. Nicely done, Trite. Very well. Let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearly was there at the inner temple too. Alright. Pearly was also stuck on the inner temple site that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godo arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up. Who is this Pearly? It's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office. I'm terribly sorry, but what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. What? Come on! Pearlie would never tell a lie. She was a way more honest person than I'll ever be. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. Huh. The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Mr. Goto, let's just move on to the cross-examination. If the defense has no objections. This is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright, let's get this cross-examination started. Okay. He cheered her up. That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Goto. And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one. The truth is, there aren't many places to look on the Inner Temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way, Goto style. I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way, judge style. Maybe I should ask some questions, Phoenix style. Oh, come on! I'm starting to not like your style. Like saying something stupid. Like, I like to do things my way. Iron Heady style. Come on! That sounds really, really stupid. Anyway. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Troy. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall. Beauty? Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Western tastes? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy? So, from there you headed to the prep room. Wait a sec, what did Goto say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Goto when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed at least Donum. Two, 4. Mr. Godo, but the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the inner temple was long before the murder took place. Why did you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. Hanging scroll? But Mr. Godo is right, that scroll shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderfully delicious smell? The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick? Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godo, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Fate. Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look, at the top. There's a crest there. Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct? Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark, then you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Fate on there. True, but Mr. Godo described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue of aroma of Western tastes. Oh, yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he could have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godo, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place. Can I ask you just one little thing, Trite? What is it? This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that the crime was going to be committed. That's right! Otherwise there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene. Of course Mr. Godo knew about the plan. Huh? What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay offered the plan for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes. The killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the inner temple. And you still insist this crafty killer is me. You bet I do. But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right! Mr. Godo couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden. If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out. Yes, and when was that? During the visit. A visit? Morgan Fay told her daughter and Pearl about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center? Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godo. Order! 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 Mr. Goto, you're under fire again! This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge, and you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. Humans are afraid of the dark, and yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee. Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean? It means that there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness? That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress. The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. And even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too non-natural. However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Goto? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Goto. For the same reason, huh? Okay, Trite, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second here. Mr. Goto is a defense attorney? With Yonner's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Goto. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? Last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando. That name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court. The tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault! It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. A pure sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. And one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. I just remembered. 6 years ago, right in this courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison in my coffee. Some newspapers at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all! No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. That's terrible. Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. And one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered, and the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed? The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Ha! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. That's so sad. For someone like me, for someone who had slipped away in their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? The first was you, Trite. Huh? Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her, but you let her die. It was all your fault. It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor. My other reason for living, she goes by the name of Mia Fey. Huh? You mean me? You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. One year when the Korean village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pro's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to wield the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she would never have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Faye. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Faye. But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years. Officially, yes. Well, what do you mean officially? You've heard about it, haven't you? About its strong ties between the main family and the government? Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Korean had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Faye still wielded great influence. The police had been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her, again because of my position as a prosecutor. So my mother was cooperating with you? Don't ever forget, no matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. She was always... That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, just look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword in it? The day when the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Faye, if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price. Mother... That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean Pearls, don't you? You mean Pearls, don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight? Well, if you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together. We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan, but she never showed up. She was worried and followed me to the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of, and that's why Misty Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body. What do you mean? If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master of Korean, Misty Faye's power was supreme, so that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Faye wouldn't be able to. What? Is this true? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Faye. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple, just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne. Goto. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, Trite. Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney, but you're going to have to do the rest yourself. The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, right? Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Fey, and I'm sad to say you, Mr. Goto. Well, Trey, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own. No, Nick, please don't. Maya, I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. It's why I have to protect Mr. Goto. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia, and me too. Maya, I know that. Nick, but even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Miss Faye, your testimony, please. This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. Alright, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? Alright, this is it. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask him for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. These red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden. Huh. Things break, Troy. Even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? It looks like you still can't prove it. Maya's telling the truth in this time. I know it. The rest is up to me. Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. Light shining in the dark? I don't think you can make a mistake about that. Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure they were from Mr. Goto's mask either. I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Goto's mask? Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time, but I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify in front of me. Maya's life was in terrible danger then at the time. That's why she can't remember the details of the scene perfectly. Alright then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw in the red lights? Okay, so, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out? Yes, that's right. The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. What? So then that scream came from the killer. It's gotta be it. I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh? After that, the killer stole in the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me. It sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder. I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct. Remember the testimony she just gave. Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade in the staff had already been plunged into the victim. Is that right? She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite. There's only one thing I can think of, and could have been used as the weapon here. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer? Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. This dagger was found in the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Yes, the detective found it this morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well. Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned that it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have had a wound somewhere on his body. So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer? Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Goto, it would prove that it's your blood. Nice theory, Trite. Order in court! Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? What? Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. It was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yes. What does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. It can't be. In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Troy. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. On the chance. What? In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness, continue testimony. Wait a minute. What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. Maya, this dagger, you said it wounded the killer. It's right. But, if Mr. Godo had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should have been bloody or have a rip in them, right? Maya, maybe he just changed his clothes? That'd solve the contradiction pretty easily. What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder. Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there. Ah, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Godo was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes. Order in the court. What the witness says is, well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him. But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes? Did the judge take smart pills during the last recess? Well then, maybe the killer took his clothes off before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on them. That's impossible, Troy. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. So that's all you got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already. If Mia Fey were here? So come on, Troy, can you do it or not? How about it, Mr. Wright? You accused Mr. Godo of being the killer, but can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence? The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition just as you want it. It's good. A fighter till the bitter end, Troy. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point. Oh no! This is it! Why don't we go for the unlimited penalty? Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godo? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You got nothing, Troy. So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've gotta think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. Alright then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I'm demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on a dagger. But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing. There's one place the killer could have wounded it and could have hidden his wound. What did you say? Hidden? This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line. The final stop, Troy. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location you say the killer hid his wound? It's simple. Profile itself. I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trey? Oh. What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him? Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound! It's beneath your mask! During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Goto, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved! Ah! Just now, I saw a spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped a woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought. Mr. Goto. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me. You yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But, you saved Maya! Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway. What do you mean? Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person I should have gone and talked to right away. Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick? But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason? No. Why? I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. Huh? I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong! You put your life on the line to save Maya! Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy, the stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Goto. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando. Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me. Thanks. Your wound! It's bleeding! Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears. Tears? Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment. Mr. Armando! You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant? Yes, Your Honor? Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in itself. I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway. Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say? Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you. Apologize to me for what? For the case 5 years ago, of course. I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover? Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me. It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other. Huh? What do you mean? You and my sister. You only met twice. Oh, hey there, Lily. I'm at the end of the game. Huh? We only met twice? The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed. No way! It can't be true! I mean, during our whole relationship, we were... For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister. Huh? It wasn't Dahlia? I hope one day you can forgive me, Feeny. You mean... That's right. I lied to you for 8 months. But why? Why would you do such a thing? Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she could. I was holding onto the charger cord the entire time just in case that would happen. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move about freely. So that's why my sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst? She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice. You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you? She already has so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance. And that's why you came to me. You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place. But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She couldn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened. That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you. I think she must have noticed. Noticed what? My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her, even if it meant her life or mine. Iris! After spending those 8 months by her side, my feelings towards you, they changed. I have something to say to you, too. Yes? You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you. Thank you. Whoa. Not pregnant. I mean, Phoenix adopted kid, but that's in another game. How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. I'll tell you though, right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so, Phoenix, right? Oh, he's got one too. Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim, Elise Dunham. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty. Court is now adjourned. It's finally over. Well, soon as I get through the banter here, that is. So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended, was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served. Mia, I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, the man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. You mean with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. Mia, you've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia, I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix. I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things, and along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. Nick? Maya, I guess it's just like my sis said. Mia, what did she say? That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry. Phoenix will save everyone in the end. But, come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you have done for us, Nick. Yeah. The subtlety in games like this. Maya, how can you be so bright and chipper after everything that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Francisca, still a softie as always, Phoenix, right? Excellent work, right? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, when did you get back? Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have all actually been helping me. Helping you? If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere. Wow, but where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold which forced him to sleep all day. Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head. Oh, ouch, talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca. I don't suppose there's room for me in this group hug, is there? Oh, Larry, what's with a longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not even once. It's not true, right, Nick? What? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good. No. Oh yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me? Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy? Yes, indeed. I certainly can see that they lack resemblance. Did you really mean it? What about you, Frenzy? Did I draw you well, too? Ah, my beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Yeah. Larry is He is a special case. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something. So then you'll do it like you promised? You're going to model for my next picture book, my friend. Don't get carried away. Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good if you ask me. Huh? Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around. Pearls. Where could she have gone? Normally she would have made a beeline for Naya. Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back. Hey, Pearly. Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened. Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. Francisca, it's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Yeah, it was only until recently that I discovered to get that feature working was to look in the browser itself. I didn't even know that, and it's working now. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can. What do you mean by now is exactly the time? Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry. Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya. Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand too. Ow! And tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya being strong for? Pro-Faye? The poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's all for the good of the Faye clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. But it's a cruel irony that was her exuberance that led her to this tragedy. Maya's mother was killed and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again. Oh hey! So this is where you all were. Wow, looks like we got quite a bunch. What was that for, sir? Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own. What's up, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, you know, isn't it? Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me. My salary's just sort of gone down by a teeny-weeny bit, but it's alright. I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight. Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your word. Detective Gumshoe, you said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean Tribulations. Where else? I knew it. We're doomed. Tribulations is that place where nothing but disaster happens. Come on, let's go. Everyone, can't keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you, crybaby, you're invited too. Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser's shack eating potatoes. You know, Maya's taken an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. Oh, Maya, what's wrong? Nick, what do I do? Pearlie, I can't find her anywhere. Huh? I'll bet she just went back home. That's all. I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one has heard from her. This has never happened before. As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya. But none of this was her fault. What should I do? Detective Gumshoe. Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys all go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I we'll join you guys once we find pearls. Nick, don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're the... Very well, then, it's right. We're going ahead. Don't keep us waiting, right? We won't. But where should we look? Where could Pearlie have gone? Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to. Hasakura Temple. For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started. What's this? You're all back again so soon? Sister Bikini? I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here? Pearlie is here? She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay. Well, it's just messed up that some characters are named as they are. Go figure. Pearlie's not here. Maya, the hanging skull. Someone cleaned it off. It's gotta be pearls. Mystic Maya! Pearly! Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! I swore that I would never trouble the two of you again, because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother... That's why you came here. It's the least I could do, to pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course, I'm sad that my mother is gone, but how do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie just to make me feel better. No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here and all is the thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. It's all I can really do. Mystic Maya, I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. Sister Bikini, your mother, Mystic Maya, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Corinne, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true, she'll always be with me until the day I die. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all monsters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die. It's the Master's talisman. The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important, rather it was the contents. That's a photo. Ah! My mother. It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their lives, but what makes us human isn't that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? It's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Even when the battle is over, and when the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them. Well, shall we get going? Everyone is waiting. This is a day to remember, a day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today. But I still can't. Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay. Alright, I'm going to make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise. I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 for when you come back. Hold on, for 3? Alright, we're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Mystic Maya, I'll eat lots of food tonight. You know, there's one thing I don't get, and probably don't want to, but what is it, Nick? Reservations for training is fine and all, but why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Why? Huh? I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do the special course naturally. Huh? That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time. Right, Nick? You know, I was wondering if I can say just one thing, just one little thing. Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps too. Well then, here goes nothing.
Objection!
Well. It's over. I'll really have to work extra hard now, Mr. Crane and the office manager of Wright and Cole offices, and I have a good sister to Pearlie and Nick too. As long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that. Whew, boy. It's all over. At last. So it's true, Mr. Nick really is Mystic Maya's knight in shining armor. He went through the specials. Actually, I heard there's a legendary. I don't think I was surprised at 2 of them by making them a secret reservation. Yeah, I can't really pause this stuff. Maggie brought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I'll feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off. Yes, but somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess a dirty shabby overcoat is just more Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly. Dude. Mr. Wright, I won once again in your doubt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Korean exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Karma. She taught me how to use a whip and said that I must show you what I've learned. I wonder how that's gonna work out. Jesse and I started a company called Master Mass Consulting. We are dedicated to stuff. Mom always cut it out, please! Pretty cute, huh? Well, we also sell plans to. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think we're the worst criminals. Huh. Dude. I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre, so I lent him $500,000 in a tea set, a special tea. And when I mix with my own hands, I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise. Wow. Even she had a role in this. At the end, I mean, I just told it in the way. A weakly, grumpy, clown-nosed waste of flesh. At least that's what I thought. But my crackheads had a birthday party for me the other day. Talking embarrassing. I cried her like a baby with a dirty diaper. As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Elk. I do hope he will get along. His name is Animata. As soon as I heard his name, I knew his brain circuits would align perfectly. Huh. My, more reporters? Since the murder, we've made so much more money. I think the managers like us because I provide. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back. You've turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone to come. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me. I felt kind of bad when you were the little one slapped so hard you got a nosebleed. Wow. That was sharp. Roll call. Well now. What is it? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation and no one else is to greet me? I guess I wasn't. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? Oh no. And now what am I gonna do with it? Blah 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 blah. I'm sorry, but there's no way I can read in that last part. Too fast. Too fast. I finally found something I love to do. Francie's whipping the rip trip is going. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. A really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all. It's all over. Yup. So that does it for this collection. Now, before I end the stream, I would like to determine what it is I want to do for my next stream tomorrow. That's just that one last little thing I want to show here now. There we go. It's gonna be one of these little things right here. And the next game is Hades. Yeah, I've been playing a good bit of Hades, and I'm gonna do at least one run tomorrow. So we'll look forward to that. Now, The one I want to raid now shall be the one I'm playing doing a co-op of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. That's what Samurai is playing right now, and I'm gonna raid him. It's a fun beat 'em up, and definitely something I would recommend. Anyway, stay tuned tomorrow for when I play more of Hades. It's just gonna be one stream session because I've got a whole bunch of other stuff I wanna get into before my cruise trip. And in any case, so long, see you compadres, bye bye.